We're back from vacation and ready to dive back into the 5-minute production app. Dimitri, take it away.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. My name is Dmitry. And yeah, this is a regular sync on 5-minute production app. And I will do a short demo showing the progress since last year. And for that, let me share the screen first. Okay. So there are a few things. One is a small one, and it's we switched from Nib.io to our own IP resolver. And if you deploy application with 5-minute production app lately, you'll get a different URL, and it will be our own IP resolver here. So this will help us with SSL certificates issue, because there is a limitation how many certificates per domain you can generate. And yeah, this is a temporary solution which will further extend with more domains available. Right now it's pretty manual, but well, it works, and you can actually deploy your application with valid SSL certificate. So this is first thing that is nice. The second one is also small, but it's nice. So in deploy job, you now have a URL of your environment here.
Oh.
So yeah, if I click on the link, I can get to the deployment without going to the operations environments and so on. So those are two changes. And small change number 3 is that we no longer require from you email for certificate. So what we are doing now is that we are using a service desk email that is generated for each project in GitLab by default, and we use it for generating a SSL certificate. The extra benefit of this is that once your certificate runs out of time and there will be an email on your email address, it will be converted to the issue in the project. So this a really nice integration of different GitLab features together. So those are small, nice improvements for user in particular. And now back to the new feature, and the feature is SMTP support. So one of the essentials of production application is sending emails. And since we are using AWS for deployment, we decided to use AWS simple email service for sending emails. And it will use SMTP. So basically your web application with some generic SMTP library will be able to send emails. All we ask from you is that you need to provide SMTP from variable. And I did it with CI/CD variables, but you can also do it in YAML file. So as you see, I put one of my emails here. And after that, I run a pipeline which generated a deployment. And it also did one new thing that didn't happen before. If you go to AWS SaaS Management Console, you can see that it added my email and it sent verification to it. So now once you go to your inbox and verify this email that you are planning to use as a sender, you can actually start using Amazon SaaS service from your web app. What I used my simple closure application, and I added few lines to it. What it does, on user sign up, it simply sends an email that, hey, your account was created. and it uses 4 variables from environment, like SMTP user, SMTP password, SMTP host, and SMTP from. And you see the code is just pretty generic send email code. Now, all those variables are coming from 5-minute production app. If you take a look at our README, it's all listed here, and it should be all you need to send an email. So let's try it live with our deployment. And I just try to sign up. So at this point, it sent an email, and if I go to my EC2 instance and check out the logs, I will see that it was a success, I hope. Let's check it out. This is another small insight to 5-minute production app, is that since it's just EC2 instance, you can always go to AWS console. And if something goes wrong, you just use docker logs command to see what's happening. So my application started on port 5000, and this particular line is responsible. It says that it's success and the message was sent, and it correlates with the source code in the Clojure application itself. Now let's try to do the same with some other random email, like this one. And we got 554 error, says message rejected, email address is not verified. And this is expected behavior. The reason why it is because Amazon says by default works in sandbox mode. So you are not allowed to send emails to unverified addresses. And if I go back to simple email service console and email addresses, you'll see that I have those emails verified, but the ones that I try to create account is not. So in order to be able to send email to all addresses, you need to move your application from sandbox mode to a production mode. For that, you need to fill the form, and it's here. So you fill out the form, you submit it for review, and then AWS will allow you to send emails to everyone. Before that, you want to have your email addresses in this tab verified to be able to send. But at least at any point, you will be able to see that, like, hey, it works if it's rejected or if it's successful. That's pretty much for today's demo. I'll stop sharing my screen now. And this brings us to certain milestone of like having most of the features in. We still want to do Redis, and that's probably what we present next week. In the meantime, if you have any questions, I would gladly answer those.
Cool. I got a bunch. Let's start. This is great. Lovely progress. Glad we made progress even over this holiday season, and I think we keep biting them off. So really great work. Really excited. And I'm just poking around to see what else is low hanging fruit. Some of this is going to be high hanging fruit, and we shouldn't pick it. So don't do what I suggest. I'm talking about necessarily. The first thing that comes to mind is the usage section in the README. We say, hey, you can put this include there, or you can use the CI template. If you use the CI template, you get the entire hunking thing. I think we should opine on what we want users to do. Maybe the CI template should be an include. I don't think so. I think we should just get rid of the include. I think we put it there early because we didn't have a CI template. Now we have it. Let's get rid of the CI template. Let's get rid of the include. I don't have an opinion either way, but I think the current thing is confusing. I think we should have convention over configuration. We should ask the user to make a choice.
Okay, here's what I think. Let's formulate a message that like, hey, use CI template. If you want to try, like the Edge version, like be like test it out, or like for development or testing, use include, because like include is not going anywhere. Like it doesn't require us anything, it just exists, right? Because it's a YAML file, and we need it for testing, for development. So it will always be there.
Yeah, I would say if you want to use the absolutely latest, so the CI template will be based on your version of GitLab. If you want to use if your instance is not on the latest version of GitLab, you can use include to use the latest version. I would phrase it.
Yeah.
Cool. We need to get out of sandbox mode for people to have like something useful, because you want to use this email service to reset passwords of your users. You don't know your user email addresses. Maybe in the application, we can give an example of the form you need to send. Like we can have, or even in the README, maybe give an example of the form you need to send in the README, so you can copy paste or at least see an example. Now we're asking like maybe a screenshot, like this is how this form probably should look like when you send it in. And this is the URL where you can do so.
Yeah, let's add URL and screenshot with field data, like example data, so people have idea of what they put in those fields.
Cool.
I didn't go through the process yet, so I probably like just do it and like describe my experience and README.
Cool. Let's make sure that everyone fills out 5-minute production app applications so that AWS reaches out like what's happening here. The SMTP from variable that people need to fill out. Can we use service test for that? Sri tied it. Sri, is there still hope there that we can fix it?
There's always hope. There are like a few things. SMTP from also acts as a flag. So if you define it, we enable that AWS resource for you. If it is not defined, we don't do it. We wanted to automate it and use the service desk email. We tried doing that.
I cannot imagine someone building an application in this day and age that doesn't have password reset. So I think we should. This is the production app. It should have password resets. You need email to do so. I think we should give. I understand it acts as a flag, but I don't think we should go for that. Our audience is going to be, I just want to get running with stateful services, including email.
Yeah, fair enough. If we always want to enable it, then what we can do is instead of service desk email, we can use the GitLab user email. The problem with the service desk email is that it ends with the host incoming.gitlab.com, and that host is tied to certain MX records. Via those records, it's tied to certain IP addresses. So AWS is not authorized to send emails on behalf of that host. So
we have this incoming host. Can we start another host which will just forward emails to incoming, which has much looser MX records?
Maybe. I think we can do it. I mean, we can do it. I can't do it. I don't have the skills to do it, but I'm sure it can be done. Alternatively, we can use the GitLab user email, but that again has a legal aspect
yeah.
to it.
Yeah, I do the GitLab user email for now, and then make an issue with like an explanation of the problem and a possible solution.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, so we can't use service desk email, and if we use like, so I'm just trying to think of this, like if you can build a service that is not necessarily use email, then like, do you want your inbox, like, to be spammed by those emails for every 5-minute production app you create, and you have no control over it?
Okay. Okay. Let's not do that then. Let's not do the personal email. Let's at least create an issue with like the problem and a maybe solution, which is like a proxy that on another domain that has loser things that will just forward it to incoming at, or to incoming.gitlab or whatever.
Okay, let's create an issue and just brainstorm it there a bit.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Dimitri, for speaking up. That makes sense. It makes sense to keep everything what happens limited to the app and not to your personal email. Yeah, with the collaboration with AWS to get the credentials with a button click, let me know if Sri, if I need to help escalate that.
Yeah, I'm going to wait for a week and then we can see what to do.
Cool.
What happens there with this one button click thing?
Oh yeah, so just just a quick recap. I spoke to Pete Goldberg, who is the GitLab Alliance Manager, I believe, with AWS. And the idea is to just contact a solutions architect at AWS and see what integrations are possible. So just like a brainstorming session to see what can we do to enable a 5-minute production user to automatically create AWS keys and import them back into the GitLab project. So this is just to set up a call and speak to the right person.
Yeah, for nodes and API and everything. Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
Cool. We set up stuff like object storage and things like that, but I don't think we yet like configured a Rails app to automatically use that. Is there a path to that? Is there an issue for that? I think that's kind of the next step in some regards.
About object storage, what exactly you mean? Like we use AWS for file storage?
Yeah, so we set up the S3 bucket automatically, but then in Rails you have something, it's new, it's after my time, let's call it active storage or something. And active storage needs to know kind of the name of the S3 bucket and the credentials. I'm not sure we're piping that into the Rails app automatically on deploy.
So we need an example with whatever the active storage, because I just use Carrier Wave. I use this old school stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we need an example, but preferably like all of that should just happen automatically.
Yeah, let me just investigate this, because with Carrier Wave, you obviously like give it environmental variables, like for fork libraries, it connects to the AWS to store the files and retrieve the files from there. I need to check out what active storage actually does, but I'm pretty sure that it's similar to Carrier Wave. Just a matter of providing an example that people can look at. And
yeah, first step is the example. Totally agree. It's going to be simple. I think we should go beyond and say, hey, how we're going to automatically generate this configuration file for our users.
I need to know what happens there to understand. Yeah, if there is anything to be done at all, maybe. Maybe can just read from environmental variables, and it's a matter of naming. Yeah, we'll see.
Cool. Darby?
Yeah. So Sri and I have been working on a CFP for HashiTalks next month. We started kind of writing up the details on our talk in this doc that I linked here. So I think it'd be helpful if anyone that has opinions about what is good for CFPs could take a look at this and give us some feedback. It'd probably help us to tweak the details a little bit for better results. I did not realize it wasn't shared, so I'll do that right now.
And just to add to that, Michael, a question for you. Do you or does anybody in your team have a lot of experience writing CFPs? We could definitely use some help.
Yeah, I was just saying I will have a look and suggest probably or have try to suggest what's needed and help you shape the abstract for the submission. It should be done by, I think next week is the due date.
That's right, the 14th. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, if we can get your help with that, it'll be great. I think we're there. We've done a first pass attempt on it, so we have enough information out there. I would love to speak to Mayank because he presented at HashiTalk the last time. So just to understand what was the CFP format that he followed, that would be good too. All right, that was the last point for the meeting that is to be live streamed. There is a question on private, so maybe we can turn off the live stream and discuss that.